Now might be a good time to check to make sure that any devices have been silenced, cell phones and landlines, anything that might disrupt your meditation. Otherwise, why don't we go ahead and settle into a comfortable meditation posture, taking care to ensure that our spine is straight and relaxed. We're facing straight ahead with our head tilted slightly forward. This serves to bring our spine perfectly into alignment. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and softly close your eyes. And to begin, I'd like you to please simply bring your awareness to the exhalation of your breath. And very gently allow your exhalation to be just a bit longer and a bit more pronounced than your inhalation. Please feel free to experiment with pausing briefly at the bottom of each exhalation. This meditation technique will allow both your physical body and your mind to start to settle and rest, to become quiet and still. Now is not the time to reflect on events that have occurred in the past. Those events cannot be changed, undone, or relived. Nor is this the time to speculate about events that may or may not occur in the future. The future is completely uncertain. Now is the time to be fully present here in this moment. Now is the time to give yourself permission to enjoy engaging in a practice that's going to bring you a peaceful state of mind and thus make a meaningful contribution to a peaceful world. I'd like you now to please bring your awareness to the arches of your feet, the arches of both of your feet. Bring your awareness to these parts of your body and become aware of any tension or tightness that you might be carrying in the arches of your feet. Our feet carry so much of the brunt of our weight of the rest of our body. It's reasonable to expect that the arches of our feet in particular would hold a great deal of tightness and tension. I'd like you now to please just gently release all of that tension. Just let it go. And the same with the balls of your feet. Just tune into any tension that you might be carrying in these parts of your feet and allow that tension to dissipate as well. Just release completely. We have many bones in our feet as well. Because there are many bones, there are many joints within our feet. With so much movement, It's reasonable also to expect that there would be a great deal of tightness in these joints, tightness and tension and stress. Release that tightness now completely, that tension in every single joint within your feet and your toes. Just release all of that tightness now, that tension. And let go. And on up into our ankles, the insides of our ankles, the tops, in particular, the parts of our ankles that intersect with our feet. Just allow any tension that might be in these parts of your body to release completely. Any tension that you might be holding on to consciously or unconsciously, give yourself permission to release that now completely and let go. On up into your calves and your shins, weight-bearing parts of our body as well. Tension in our calf muscles and our shin bones, these bones in the lower parts of our legs. Who knows what tension and tightness we may be carrying in these parts of our bodies, our calves and our shins. Give yourself full permission now to release all of that tension. Just let it go. Tension that you may have been carrying throughout your entire life. Just release it now and let go. Our knees. Knees can be problematic for many of us. And it seems safe to believe that a source of our difficulties with our knees relate to tightness and tension and stress that we might be carrying there. Both of our knees, the kneecaps, backs of our knees. Just release that tension now as well, completely. And let go. Up into the upper parts of our legs. Our upper leg bones and our muscles, the largest muscle sets of our bodies, actually. Safe to assume that we're carrying tension in these parts of our bodies as well. Release and let go completely. Just allow it to dissolve. Into our hips and our pelvic area now, and around on our backside, our buttocks. Tension and tightness that we might be carrying there. Unneeded tension that serves no useful purpose whatsoever. Release that now, completely. Completely liberate your hips and your pelvic area from all forms of tension and tightness. And let go. please bring your awareness to your spine, one of the most essential parts of the human body, the spine, vertebrae and discs and nerves. How wonderful it would be if we could completely release all tension, every single bit of tension that we might be carrying in our spine. Please do that. Please do that now. Just release completely and let go. And your entire torso now, your abdomen, your chest, your shoulders. Release now. Let go and give yourself complete permission to release tension and tightness throughout your torso. You're free to let go of that tension, so just let go of that tension completely. Your neck and your throat and the muscles in your face, the bones in your face. Any stress, any tightness. Subtle forms of tightness and tension and overt forms of tightness and tension. Just release that tension now and let it go. Dissolving into empty space, bringing no harm to anybody, and let go. And now into the upper parts of your arms, your elbows in particular. Tendons and ligaments in your elbow, your forearms, wrists, hands and fingers, many, many bones in our hands and our fingers as well. Because there are many bones in our hands and fingers, that means there are many joints there, presenting the potential for you to be carrying tension there. Release that tension now completely and let go. And just release. And for the last couple of moments of our meditation this morning, I'd like you to just rest and observe silently. Observe the sensations within your inner body from the crown of your head to the tips of your fingers and the soles of your feet. And just observe what your inner body feels like now with that tension being released, that tightness being gone. Just observe silently. Now, please gently, very gently redirect your awareness. Become aware again of the garments of clothing resting on the surface of your body, and allow your breathing to become less shallow. Taking deeper and deeper breaths, become aware again of your surroundings inside of the room that you're occupying. Allowing your consciousness to become progressively less absorbed. Become aware again of the world that exists outside of the room that you're occupying. Become aware again of clouds, of blue sky beyond the clouds, of outer space beyond the blue sky. We dedicate all of the merit, all of the positive energy from this morning's meditation to world peace. May all beings without exception be completely free from all forms of mental and physical suffering. May all beings without exception be happy, peaceful, contented, and free. Completely fill up your belly and lungs with air, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes and bring your meditation to an end. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome back. So I have shared with you all the fact that my training in meditation has come from two sources primarily. The first was a school of meditation that was that is very analytical and very cerebral, very much emphasized understanding on the front end of the practice why we do what we do, how we do what we do, and the intended results for doing what we do in meditation practice. It's kind of a front-loaded, if you will, understanding of the practice and what we do. The other school of meditation doesn't provide much explanation on the front end. They rely more on experience, on experience. They feel like experience is the best teacher, and and they leave it to us to sort of draw our own conclusions, to figure it out for ourselves, if you will. The knowing, the understanding will come subsequent to the experience. The first school, the knowing comes before experience. The second school, the knowing and understanding comes after the experience. There's a place for both, for sure. And I would encourage you all to just be aware of these differences and come to your own conclusions about what's the best approach for you. And I just say all that to say that this practice that we do, this practice of releasing tension and releasing tightness, you'll recall from previous classes that this is a technique for releasing unresolved karma. And through several classes that we've had, I've explained this, or at least the last two or three I've explained that, but I elected not to explain it for this morning's meditation, or to remind us of the reasons for it. I think at this point, it's beneficial for us to just do the practice and experience without necessarily connecting the dots every single time we do it. I think there needs to be a basic, for most of us, there needs to be a basic understanding of what we're doing and why we do it. Beyond that, my experience is that too much attention to the analytics of it, the cerebral aspect of it, the connecting the dots, kind of interferes with the benefits that we might experience from the practice. The thinking mind is never satisfied. It will never be satisfied. We can go deeper and deeper and more granular and granular in terms of understanding to the nth degree how this stuff works. And we still won't get to, for the thinking mind, we won't get to a satisfactory explanation of how it works. Relying on our non-conceptual awareness, the wisdom of our non-conceptual awareness, we can settle into the practice and feel our way into it and feel that, yes, this is right. And I'm releasing stuff that is getting in the way from me experiencing inner peace and being free of that which ails me, my painful states of mind. So at the end of our class on Monday, there was a message, a Zoom message that Martha Cooper put forward, and she did it at the very end of class, and I barely even saw it. And we were adjourning, and I didn't have time to address it, but it was a really good question. I'm not sure if any of you all saw it. I don't even know if she sent the message to everybody. It said, what about self-care? To refresh your memory, what we talked about on Monday was the consequences of self-importance, or what my teacher calls self-cherishing, regarding ourselves as being at the center of the universe, and everything that happens in our world has relevance only insofar as it affects us. Remember the example from the book that I read. Our car has meaning because it's our car. Other person's car gets damaged or stolen. We're not really so interested in that because it's not ours. Our relationships, our friends are important because of how they affect us. It's kind of this self-centered, and I don't mean that in a pejorative way. I mean it in a very literal, objective sense. Our self is the center of our world, and everything that happens in the world has significance insofar as it impacts us. This is what's referred to as self-cherishing, self-importance. We might use those two terms interchangeably. Martha asked, what about self-care? What about self-care? Isn't meditation practice? If we were to try to stop this state of self-importance, of self-cherishing, why would we want to meditate? Why would we want to engage in any form of self-care? I think it's a really good, important question, especially given that we're just now wading into these waters of Lojong, the practice of training the mind. My suggestion is that it's an inside job, really. The whole thing, the whole framework around self-cherishing versus cherishing others pivots on our intention. an example that one of my very first teachers used, and I remember it very clearly. He said, so with regard to driving our car, there are certain laws that it would be good for us to follow, to abide by certain laws. Why would we abide in those? Why would we follow those laws? So we don't get in an accident. Why do we not want to get in an accident? One view might be because we might get injured. If we don't follow the laws and drive in an irresponsible manner, we might wreck our car and we might get injured. Another way of looking at it is if we don't follow the laws, if we're reckless or irresponsible, don't follow the laws, we might get in an accident and injure someone else, might injure others. It's a small but important adjustment of our perspective. I'm going to drive my car in a responsible way so I don't get in an accident and injure someone else or even kill them. Why am I going to apply myself to meditation practice? So I can train my mind. Why am I interested in training my mind? Well, so people don't get on my nerves so much, maybe. That might be an intention. Another intention behind it might be so I don't get on other people's nerves any more than I already do. It just kind of, it's just a fundamental and very important shift in not really so much what we do, but why we do it. And it's about moving away from doing what we do in the name of making ourselves more comfortable, and more about doing what we do so that we can make those around us more comfortable. And everybody benefits. When others are more comfortable, we're more comfortable as well. Others' happiness and suffering aren't separate from our own happiness and suffering. So let me see, there was one more point I wanted to make about this. Lost it. But here is the essence of this training. Oh, I know what it was. It's another analogy. It's another analogy of the airplane. There's a loss in cabin pressure. The oxygen masks drop down. First thing they do, put your own mask on before you can help someone else. Yeah, I mean, it could be I put my own mask on so I don't suffer and I don't die. But I do this, I put on the mask so I'm in a position to better able support others. There's that shift again of not changing what we do, but why we do it. And I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that and let you contemplate on your own and have your own experience for this sort of existential shift in intention for why we do what we do. It's at the very core of these Lojong trainings, these teachings on training the mind, changing the object of cherishing from ourselves, one person, to others, many others. So, and on Monday, we'll talk more about this and kind of connect the dots in terms of how we can do it, how we can bring ourselves to change the object of our attention and importance. So thank you, you guys. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful weekend. And I hope to see you on Monday.
Thank you, Jeff.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
Jeff.
everybody.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Jeff.
Hi,
Everybody
Tina.
have a good
You.
weekend.
Yeah, everybody have a good weekend. Hi, Tina.
Everybody, right? It's all about me and my weekend.
Bye,
Oh.
Jeff.